want to welcome you all to this Go Diamond Daily Focus call. I was asked late last night to fill in, so a lot of you probably have not heard my story. Let me tell just a little bit who I am, and then let's get into what we're talking about this morning. You know, I am Clinton Sides. I am from McPherson, Kansas. I get to work from home, and I've done that for a long time now. It wasn't with network marketing, but now I am loving what this industry is. You know, I grew up on a farm out in western Kansas. I grew up on the farm. I really did enjoy it. I enjoyed the freedom. You know, I enjoyed the animals. I even enjoyed the hard work, but I didn't always enjoy the paycheck. And I moved back to McPherson, Kansas, about 36 years ago. I worked at it, and I was able to be certified as a pipeline welder. I did farming on the side. I started investing in real estate early, where I learned what leverage of money was. And that is what I used to propel to the lifestyle of what we wanted, that more money. But, you know, I set a goal. I set a goal early on. And that goal was, I wanted to retire by the time I was 40, and not to quit working necessarily, but quit punching the clock for others, because I wanted that freedom. I wanted to be able to travel while I was still young enough to feel good. I wanted to do things that I saw most people at retirement, then they didn't have their health, they didn't have the finances to do what they really wanted to do, and I didn't want that. I wanted something different, and I learned early on that I could learn from my mistakes and the mistakes of others if I paid attention and if I wanted to. But, you know, I soon found that it was faster if I could learn from other people's success. You know, I went to seminars. I went to investment seminars. I learned from the real estate gurus, the multimillionaires, and I tried to pattern after what they did. And, you know, it paid off. In real estate, though, it took time. It took time to pay property down. It took time for that investment to work. It did work. I was able to personally walk away from punching clock at 38. Now, I don't say that to impress, but I say that to impress upon you. There were two things that I did. The importance of, I set a goal. I had a dream. I had a desire. I had a why. And then I followed success. I followed other people's success. So we can take that to whatever opportunity that we want to work that with. You know, as I reached my 50s, I realized I didn't have the health and the energy that I once had. When I was introduced to Zizia and the power of Moringa oleifera, what I saw was a powerful plant, you know, something that was a superfood, something so nutrient dense. And I was seeing the corporate experience and leadership of Ken Brailsford, you know, following that success we talked about. Somebody had been very successful. And then the timing of being in first to market. I was impressed, and I was ready to join the team. I started with a builder too, and following the advice of successful people, I built the list to share with people with either the product or the business opportunity. I plugged in the simple duplicatable system. And, you know, now seeing results, amazing results in myself and others, I've become passionate about sharing Zizia with others. I'm not your fast start story. It wasn't something that I was driven to have to do, but now that passion of sharing with others and helping others has resoluted. It's rolled up in me, and it is just being consistent. It is being persistent that got me to where I am. I was blown away as I've been involved with this, of a business model that could allow average people to build a business and have above average success. You know, no brick and mortar, no employees, no tenants, no groups, no inventory, but there's still that powerful leverage. And this time, instead of leveraging money that I did in real estate, we're leveraging time, helping others, but all that time accumulates, and that leverage is just amazing. So the simple systems in place allows anyone to be successful if they choose to. You know, we have to choose in life of what we're willing to go through to change, to improve. Because as we know, systems work when people fail. So this opportunity has allowed us another income stream of residual income for the short amount of time being involved. Really is truly amazing. But the best part of all really haven't even started yet. There are many more people to help do the same thing. It truly is about helping people that want to help people. And the personal development this company teaches and encourages to do really is amazing. And for me, this is not a phase in life. This is a way of life, and I'm loving what I do. Again, I just want to welcome you to the call this Thursday, yesterday, Thursday a.m., Karen Hill and Jason from Compliance were talking about things we have to be careful of in our story. And as they talked about, we can't talk about body parts, we can't talk about conditions or ailments. I was picking up, that is a good thing. Because if I have a migraine headache and I'm talking to people about the changes that I might have seen with that, and somebody else doesn't have a migraine headache, well, their subconscious will shut down. Well, I don't need that because I don't have migraine headaches. And so if I can take that out of it and make it broad and talk about the health and the energy that we can have by getting the proper nutrition, we can resolve with everybody. And so I thought that was powerful. So if any of you missed it, Compliance is here to help us, not to harm us. It has helped us build this company to be that long-lasting company that we want it to be. This is a mindset. We have to change our thinking. We don't sell. We only listen and care. Then we can offer a way to help. But it's not about me. It's not about my story or what conditions I had. It is about a way to help others. I have 2 ears, and if I listen more than I talk, I will find what their desires and what their needs is. If I'm sitting down and I'm talking to somebody, and they may talk about a condition, and I don't want to spill on them, so I may not say anything right then, but a day or two later, because they probably still have that condition, I can go back and say, hey, the other day you told me about the condition you had. You still have that, because probably they still do, and say, I found a way that might help that. So it's all natural, and then I leave. You know what? I didn't get to know. That is amazing, because fear and the fear of no is what drives a lot of us to not want to do what we should do. And so as I leave, if he is interested, I kind of sorted. And so if he's interested, he may call out and he said, hey, what is that? If he doesn't, that's okay, but maybe a week, 2 weeks later, I'll follow up again and see if that condition might still there. But if he does, I still don't want to throw up on him. I don't want to say too much. And so I'll just say, man, I don't have time right now, but let me get your cell phone, let me send you a quick link. And then I can set that process, that system really piquing their interest, passing him on to something else, letting the tools do the talking, and then tying in that three-way call. So, as I can do that, that is what takes away my fear of rejection. That takes away their fear of being sold, and we can get people to want what we have or want to know what we have. And I think that is amazing. Jim Rohn, a favorite mentor, he's not with us anymore, but he's left behind a legacy of personal development. And Jim Rohn said, if you want to have more, you have to become more. For things to change, you have to change. For things to get better, you have to get better. For things to improve, you have to improve. Because you see, if you grow, everything else grows for you. As we work on personal development, that is what will attract others to us. That will give us confidence. That it is just amazing what that starts to do. There are levels of leadership also, and in my business, it will grow only to the level I am. So if I'm only a 3 or 4 on a scale of 1 to 10, that's all the bigger my business is going to grow. That's all the bigger, all the people that I'll be able to attract. If I want to attract more, I have to do what Jim Rohn said. I have to become more. And so you see, the first change, I I have to do. I have to be willing to change. I have to want to change, and then be willing to go through that process. When you go through the hardships, when you go through the adversity, that is when you grow. If you don't give up, it's easy to quit. But if we truly want something, if we have that goal, we have that vision, we have that dream, we will be willing to go through the things that we need to do. We have to have them trials to change. The most common trait that I've found in successful people is that they conquered the temptation to give up. So my challenge to you is don't give up. Don't give up working on yourself. Don't give up learning and personally developing. Don't give up on your dreams. Aristotle wrote, "We are what we repeatedly do." So my challenge to you, let's strive to improve every day. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. And so start by reading that first book, listening to that first CD, whatever it is for you, so that you can work on that development. Start perfecting your skills, perfecting the simple system, perfecting your listening more than you talk, and perfecting your leadership development. It is amazing as I change some of them things, as I work on them, how things start to change. Successful people will do what others won't. I think you will find that most successful people have stood on the books and the CDs to get to that top shelf. They have worked on that. They have spent more time working on themselves than they did on their business. I think that you will also find that they set goals. Henry Ford said, obstacles are those things that you see when you take your eyes off your goals. And early in life, when I set that goal that I wanted to retire at 40, and I was doing it through real estate, I wasn't doing it punching a clock. I punched a clock so I could make a living, but I invested in real estate so I could have that retirement early. And so as I did that, when a hot water heater went out or a furnace went out in a house that I was renting, early on I couldn't really afford that. Now I could have let that obstacle sidetrack me, make me quit, or when a tenant tore up a house, I could have said, this isn't for me, but I didn't. I found a way to go around that roadblock. I found a way to get over that obstacle because I had that vision, I had that goal that I wanted to accomplish. And that is what will drive you, is that goal, that why. There was a Harvard study done back in, the story has it was back in 1979, and the interviewers asked graduates from Harvard's business class, the business program, and they found that 84% of that graduating class of 1979 had no specific goals. They didn't have goals at all. They didn't know what they were going to do. 13% had goals, but they had to pick it to paper. They just kind of had a goal in their mind. And you know what we say, a goal not written down is just a dream. It's just a wish. You've got to write it down. But of that group, 3% had clear written goals, and with that, plans to accomplish them goals. They had that. And you know what? 10 years later, they follow back. The interviewers followed back up again with them graduates, and here's what they found. The 13% of the class who had goals that they had in their mind, they were earning on average twice as much as the 84% who had no goals at all. But even more staggering, the 3% that had written goals were earning on average 10 times as much as the other 97% put together. You've got to repeat that. The 3% who had clear written goals were earning on average 10 times as much as the other 97% of the class put together, and that was in a 10-year frame. So the importance of goals, of writing them down, putting them in front of you so that you will see them every day, so that you will see them and let that resolute in your mind to help you overcome them obstacles. So if I'm going to do that every day, I need to do something every day so I can achieve that goal, that whatever I'm wanting to do. And I've got to say that Abe Lincoln probably said it best. It goes something like this. This isn't an exact quote, but something about if he had 6 hours to chop down a tree, he would spend the first 4 hours sharpening the axe. And so you may say, well, what was that? Well, he was working on making the axe sharp. For me, that is working on my skills, that is working on my personal development, so that when I go out, I'm better. You see, Abe Lincoln, if he would have used a dull axe, he would have gone out to chop on that tree. He would have worked like crazy for 6 to 8 hours. He wouldn't have got very far because his axe was dull. He would have given up. He would have said, this doesn't work, and he would have quit. Now, if he worked 4 hours on sharpening that axe so that he was ready to chop down the tree, then he could chop it down in 2 hours, then he accomplished the task. And so the same way John C. Maxwell, he, what a mentor, what a leader of leaders, and he said that there are 5 things that you need to do every day. And for everybody, that will be different for whatever job you're trying to do, whatever goal you're trying to reach, then 5 things will be something different. But he said, if you have a tree that you want to chop down in your backyard, and you take 5 swings at it every day, eventually that tree will fall. It's not will it is just when. And so if he went out and chopped all day on the tree and couldn't get it down, you'd give up. You'd say that didn't work. But every day, doing something a little bit every day, and that will compound over time. It wouldn't matter if that tree was a small 4-inch tree or a tree that was 3 foot across. If you do it 5 times every day, it will go down. Now, the bigger the goal, the longer it may take, but eventually that tree would fall. And so for me, what I would do for 5 things so that I could accomplish that goal or that dream, whatever I have, and see it, part of that, one of the things would be talking to people, filling my funnel, not throwing up on them, but talking to people every day, doing something every day. The second thing would be making a plan the first week, and then every day reviewing that plan of who I'm going to talk to, what I'm going to do, what meeting I'm going to, whatever that plan is, but review that, work on that every day. It would be personal development. Every day, reading books, listening to CDs, getting on a call, learning from others, surrounding myself with positive people so that I can build myself up to that positive person. We will become the sum average of the 5 people we spend the most time with. So who do I want to spend time with? I want to spend time with positive, uplifting, successful people. Now, I can't always do that in a job place, but I can do it in the morning. I can do it in my car with the CDs. I can do it with the books I read. And where my focus is, that's where I will go. So that personal development is so crucial. You can't just read a book for 8 hours on Saturday and do the same thing as doing a little bit every day, because it changes that mindset. It gets your mind thinking in the right direction. If you do a little bit every day, I need to reach down. I need to help someone in the team. I need to reach down and see what I can do for them, and because it is all about helping others to succeed ourselves. And then the 5th thing, probably one of the important things would be 3-way calls. That is, to me, that is probably the strongest tool that we have. It shows we have support, we have help. We don't have to know how to do this, because we know that duplication is the key, but correct duplication. And so if I'm duplicating something wrong, then that resolutes for the team. What I do, others will do. And so it is so crucial. So that 3-way call, if I don't have one set up, or somebody doesn't have one set up with me, I may reach down on the team to somebody new and 3-way somebody else and practice. Whatever that is, work on that and have that a constant in front of you. That's something that you can do every day. So what are 5 things for you? It may be different than the 5 things for me, but you need 5 things. For some reason, 5 is a magical number, but 5 things to do every day that will help you reach that goal that you're looking for. So I've got to ask, what are you willing to give up we have to give up so we can go up. We all only have so many minutes in a day, so what are we willing to give up? Is it turning TV off? It is quit reading the negative newspaper, or whatever that is for you. You've got to give up a few minutes somewhere to have more minutes to do the things that are important. To close out, I just want to encourage everyone, go in your back office, look at the new corporate incentive, the holiday incentive that they have put out. I've been involved with the Visa here for a while. I have never seen them match dollar for dollar on points. That barrel, not only is that a vintage, is that something that is unique, something that you could have a lifetime of a company just in the starting of that legacy company stage, but it is something that you can order for $500. You get 500 points, 500 PV. So if you order that and you get that, there's almost $900 of product in that. And you get the barrel for free. You just about get double the product is what you pay money. But that 500 PV, drop ship it down below you. And as you do that, the volume that comes up, if that's on your pay leg on a preferred customer, you're going to see about $150 back in your pocket. That is the most amazing thing I've seen. How about enrolling somebody new? If you're going to sign them up for Builder 1 or Builder 2, but a Builder 2 barrels is only $1,000. To sign up normally for Builder 2, that's $1,321. So here I can sign somebody up as a Builder 2 for $1,000. They'll get a lot of product. They'll have to make their own samples, but that's okay. The product is there, and we can go out and we can encourage people. And this time of year, we got a couple of weeks left here, not quite that, about 10 days, 11 days. The incentive of starting a business and getting that tax write-off. So what a win-win situation for enrolling someone. Get started that Builder 2, get the opportunity of less money to get started for more product, get that opportunity of that tax write-off right down here at the end of the wire when you're about ready to do taxes. That's good. And then the burn packs that they have, sending them out to 5 people. That is an amazing opportunity, but understand you need to do it as a system, the system we talked about, because if you just send them out to people they won't know what it is, and they'll probably throw them in the trash. You wasted your money. But if you will call them up and pique their interest about something that you might have, or visit with them and find out that they might have a need, and now when you send that, tell them that you're going to follow up, make sure they got it, follow up to see how it's going. But as you do that, set up that three-way call, set up that validation. So that can be used as your tool to pique their interest, to pass them on, and then to do the plug and let your upline do the heavy lifting for you. Amazing training call tomorrow. It will be the fast start training that is so valuable. Black Diamond Doug Stroop is going to do that call. You don't want to miss it. You will learn from that. You'll be able to get your new people on there. I'm going to open the lines up, wish everybody a Merry Christmas, and have a good weekend.
Awesome call to Elizabeth Alexander, San Francisco Bay Area. Thank you. Everyone.